From the Albuquerque Journal, this is the leading news. I'm Gino Gutierrez. It's Monday, January 19th. Here's what we're covering on today's episode. New Mexico's 30-day legislative session is set to begin tomorrow and is expected to move quickly, with Democratic leaders planning to fast-track several major bills early to avoid the usual end-of-session gridlock. Lawmakers say many of these proposals have already been debated in past sessions and are ready for passage. Top priorities include two interstate medical compact bills aimed at improving healthcare access, a $1.5 billion road bonding package, and legislation that would ban local governments from contracting with federal agencies to detain immigrants for civil violations. A bill backed by Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham to expand involuntary mental health committees is also expected to advance quickly in the Senate, though it may face resistance in the House. Republicans, who are already outnumbered in both chambers, have expressed concern about fast-tracking controversial bills and say they may use extended debate to slow the process. Still, GOP leaders say they will introduce their own proposals focused on healthcare and public safety. House Speaker Javier Martinez said affordability will be a central theme, including housing and health insurance costs, and signaled to continue the debate over reforms to the state's child welfare system. He also proposed tougher criminal penalties for juvenile offenders, without expanded treatment and prevention programs. A new report warns that New Mexico's heavy reliance on groundwater, which supplies 78% of drinking water and more than half of the state's total water, is at risk due to major gaps in data and management. This comes as the climate grows hotter and drier. Surface water is projected to decline by up to 30% by 2050, which will increase the dependence on groundwater that is often pumped faster than it can recharge. The New Mexico 360 Groundwater Report calls for expanded aquifer mapping, groundwater metering, regional planning, local management, and stronger collaboration with native tribes, pueblos, and nations. While the state has been mapping aquifers since 2007, the effort is costly and incomplete, with only about 11% of aquifers having been studied in detail so far. Full characterizing of the state's aquifers could cost $175 million over the next 12 to 15 years, though lawmakers are considering significant new funding. The report also highlights that irrigation accounts for about 78% of groundwater use, yet most of that water is not metered, which limits the state's ability to manage demand. In eastern New Mexico, declining aquifers have already forced farmers to retire wells and cut pumping to preserve water supplies. Experts say groundwater is a critical but often overlooked resource, and urgent action is needed now in order to protect it for the state's future. And as New Mexico's legislative session is set to open tomorrow, Albuquerque leaders are seeking a share of the state's $11.3 billion budget to fund public safety, homelessness initiatives, and quality of life projects. Mayor Tim Keller, city councilors, and Bernalillo County commissioners submitted capital outlay requests ranging from basic infrastructure to more ambitious redevelopment ideas. Public safety requests include funding for new vehicles for police, fire, and community safety departments, completion of 2 fire stations, and pedestrian and cyclist safety upgrades, such as high-visibility crosswalks, speed cameras, and street, road diets. County officials are also seeking $4 million for a public safety training center and crime prevention technology. To address homelessness, Keller is asking for more funding for the city's gateway shelter system, motel-to-housing conversions, and improved data systems to track shelter beds and services. Bernalillo County is requesting $98.3 million to support housing programs, including a renovated hotel for families, a tiny home village, and rental assistance. Quality of life proposals include park renovations, bike lanes, road upgrades, and expanded recreational facilities. Notable ideas include converting an abandoned Walmart on San Mateo into a mixed-use community space, and securing more funding for the rail trail, a 7-mile pedestrian and cycling loop that recently lost $11.5 million in federal funding. The leading news is powered by the journalism of the Albuquerque Journal. If you enjoy hearing all of the stories we share with you here daily, please consider becoming a digital subscriber to the Journal by utilizing the discount code in our show notes. Every subscription helps support local journalism and allows us to provide you with the news that matters to you. Now taking a look at Albuquerque's weather forecast. Today you can expect sunny skies with a high near 53, and as for this evening, mostly clear with a low around 24. To keep up with all the latest news from the Albuquerque Journal, you can visit our website at abqjournal.com. That's the leading news. I'm Gino Gutierrez. We'll be back tomorrow.